I like this article. It gets straight to the point. On the night of April 19, 1989, a 28-year-old female jogger was brutally attacked and raped in New York's Central Park. She was found unconscious with her skull fractured, her body temperature at 84 degrees, and 75% of her blood drained from her body. When she recovered, she had no memory of the assault. Initially, police investigations quickly focused on a group of African American and Latino teenagers who were in police custody for a series of other attacks perpetrated in the park that night. After a prolonged period of police interrogation, five teenagers, Yusuf Salam, Kevin Richardson, Antron McCray, Raymond Santana, and Corey Wise, confessed to being involved in the attacks. At the time, they were all between the ages of 14 and 16. Richardson, McCray, Santana, and Wise all gave videotaped confessions. The confessions were presented as evidence, though they differed in time, location, and their description of the participants of the rape. At trial, the prosecutors also presented forensic evidence. None of their DNA matched Patricia Wiley's rape kit from the crime scene. The following year, all five teenagers were convicted in two separate trials of charges stemming from the attack. 16-year-old Corey Wise was tried as an adult and convicted of assault, sexual abuse, and riot. He was sentenced from 5 to 15 years. He did the most time. Of that 5 to 15 years, he did 14 years. The other boys were also convicted to 5 to 15 years. But the maximum time that they all spent was 7 years. In 2002, Matias Reyes, a convicted murderer and rapist, admitted that he alone was responsible for the attack on the Central Park jogger. Reyes had already committed another rape near Central Park days earlier in 1989. The victim of that rape had described the rapist as having fresh stitches in his chin, and an investigator quickly linked Reyes to this description. Although the police had Reyes' name on file, they failed to connect Reyes to the rape and assault of the Central Park jogger. They did a DNA test on Reyes, and it matched Trisha Miley's rape kit from 1989. In his confession, Reyes told police details of the crime scene that no one else could have known besides the offender. After his confession, the men's convictions were vacated. Three of them were already out. Corey Wise was still in prison. He had been in prison since 1989. Raymond Santana was rearrested. When he got out after serving his first 7 years, he couldn't find a job. So he started selling drugs, and he was rearrested for violation of parole. So Corey Wise and Raymond Santana were released from jail. The other three, like I said before, they were already out of jail. And New York City vacated their conviction. They wiped it from their records. But the damage was already done. Those men will forever be traumatized. All of them suffered, but Corey Wise suffered the most. He had a hearing impediment and he was mentally challenged. And during his 14-year bid, he was brutally beaten by inmates and spent most of his time in solitary confinement. All the beatings he endured and all the time he spent alone in solitary confinement damaged him more. If you haven't already, get into When They See Us. It's on Netflix. It's a 4-hour series. It's very educational. It's very telling. It's very heartbreaking. It's a good movie. After Matias Reyes' confession in 2002, all 5 guys decided to sue New York City. New York City refused to settle with them. They denied and refused those guys for 10 years. In 2014, they finally settled with them for $41 million. The damage was already done. No amount of money can make up for what those guys went through. They spent most of their life in prison for something they did not do. That's sad.